Before we proceed in the middleware, we should be familiar with all these terms and all these methods that we are going to use in the middleware that we can see on the screen. First one is your run method. It is basically used to complete the middleware execution. Let's suppose at some point of time we want to complete the execution of any middleware. In that case, we execute this run method, and that will complete the middleware. That will complete the execution of that particular middleware. Then we have next use method. It is basically used to insert a new middleware in the pipeline. And let's suppose in the application, it is basically used when we want to create our own custom middleware. In that case, this use method is used. So to create a custom middleware, we specifically use this use method. Then we have next method. This next method is used to send the request to the next middleware for the execution. As we have already seen in our previous video in the diagram, that how next method is basically used to pass the request from one middleware to the next middleware. Le- uh, let's suppose that we have 15 middleware in our application, right? And in the fifth middleware, we don't have this next method written, right? So how the execution will occur? The execution will occur that the request will go to the first middleware, then second middleware, then third middleware, then fourth middleware, right? And then it will go to the fifth middleware. But in the fifth middleware, during the execution, there is no any next method, so the control will come back to the from middleware fifth to middleware fourth, then third, then second, and then finally to the middleware one, right? So this is how your next method is used to send the request from one middleware to the other middleware for the execution. And in that scenario, it will execute only the code in the five middlewares that are present in the first five middleware. It will not execute the code in the remaining middleware, that is 6 7 8 up to 15, right? So that is a very most important use, that how we have to use our next method in our middleware, right? Then next we have map method. Map method is used to map the middleware to a specific URL, right? Let's assume that we want to map a particular code to a specific URL. So in that case, we use this map method, and we can bind our logic according to our need, and we can customize it according to our need. So these are the some methods that you should be familiar while working in the middlewares. So let's meet in the next video for the execution of all those methods in the middleware.